Okay, can you guys see me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with our assignment. If you scored below 7, raise your hands, please. If you scored below 7. 1. Three. Who's not scored below 7? Sorry?
Sir, what was your question?
Yeah, if you scored below 7, like if you scored 6, you scored 5. I think 5 was the least. I don't think anyone scored 5. You scored like 6. So that should be your assignment real quick. Okay, let's start with wisdom. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you're present for last class. I made it clear that there should be no table or form. But the only thing I wanted to say was just the tribute page, and that tribute page should like contain a lot of information. This information here, they're all short, one wisdom, and then you added the form and then a table. That means that you didn't even create a new file. What you did was just copy and paste the last thing you did, and then you just added CSS to it. So that's why I gave you a 6.
Yeah, that's not supposed to formal.
Oh, that means you were not. When I say that means that you were not so attentive in the last class, because I made it clear. Can Kofo
I will
confirm to that?
probably maybe because time and didn't get up, but I knew I was in the last class.
But I emphasized on it that there must be no form or table. I want a full tribute page, a very long one, large one. That's what I said.
I
And then you
remember
give me just
mentioning that in the tribute will be full, like it's plenty. We're going to write plenty, but I don't know saying it should be no form or table.
Oh yeah, I
And
made
it
it.
also
I said I'm expecting. I
someone
said I was
mentioned
expecting
in
a
the
new.
PDF.
Yeah, it's not. What I say, it's not everything I mentioned in the PDF. Majority of the things I mentioned them in class, and then I drop the PDF, not like what I mentioned in class. So the reason why I'm doing that is because that's the only way I can. I can sort out people that are attentive in class and people that are not. Like now, if I had not done it that way now, I would not have done that. You were not so attentive in my last class. Maybe we were just present, but we were not so attentive. Because if you were attentive, you'd have heard me say it clearly that I wanted no table, I wanted no form. I don't know if anyone can testify to that. Kofo, I think Kofo Precious, get me so active class. Kofo and Precious, can you guys confirm to that, please?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said I made it clear last class that I did not want to see any form, table, assignments.
Yes, you said you wanted the full truth page.
Exactly.
Full details about the person.
Exactly. Thank you. So wisdom, that's how I got to 6.
No, I did not use fullness.
Sorry?
I did not hear that we should scroll the format. I hear
Oh
that.
yeah, that's because we were not attentive in the last class. I hope you change the station.
My network.
Your network.
Yes, class. How did you say that they have a good pay by this other part? And
Sorry about that, boss. Yeah, okay, year one day. I already told you one day I win for you one day you submitted a live link. You did not submit your GitHub link, so I was unable to view your code or anything. So what I scored was just your live link. I did not score your GitHub. I did not score your code. It was just like so. That's 6 you scored was for your live link and not for the code because I guess of your code is like 4 marks. So I could not see your code at all. So that's why I scored 6. Okay, yeah. Let's go for Winifred. So you and are we cool?
We can't be cool, but it's fine.
It says you can't be cool. Really? Morgan, I want us to be cool. Oh. Winifred, you scored a 7 now. Please put your hand down. I said if you scored below 7.
I'm not raising up my hand because of the assignments.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. Why are you raising up your hand?
Send the recording of the class because I'm currently not at home. My system is not with me.
Oh, no problem. No problem. You get the record. Let's say
Okay, thank you.
by midnight or by tomorrow, you get the recording.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So Sheriff Dean. That's fine. If you did have a 7 now, boss, you had a 7. Why are you raising up your hand? I said if you scored below a 7, that's 6. You scored 6.5. You had a 7 now. I said if you scored the last assignment, the benchmark is 9. 9 is the highest you can score for that last assignment. Okay. So if you scored 9, if you scored 8, if you scored 7, that means you did well. But let's say your assignment was not that impressive. And then those that had that extra 1 mark are people that they were so creative with their own assignment. Creativity not in the sense that they did something better than every other person, in the sense that they used things that I was not even expecting to use. Like Jehan and Treasure. Yeah, Treasure that used the table and then Jehan that used the parallax effect. So just those two. Yeah. So I guess that's all for today.
Yes, sir.
Let's just jump right into the next class. Yeah, so I want us to take a vote right now. Oh, are you delaying? Okay, that's a mistake. I want us to take a vote right now. Okay, no problem, no problem. Yeah, so I can, what I say, I can continue teaching now, or I can just bring up a particular design and then we'll just code along that particular design. Maybe just imitate something. Then after that, we'll just go into Flexbox. So if you want us to continue teaching, raise up your hand. If you want us to just imitate, that's clone a particular design, then continue with the Flexbox after the design, raise up your hand. No, don't raise up your hand. If you want us to continue with the class, that's I should just take Flexbox next. Raise up your hand. No,
Please come again, right? Oh, yeah.
There are things we can do right now. Let's hear you. Oh, can you guys hear me clearly, please?
Good.
Speaking of it, I don't know if myself, but I did not hear you.
Oh, is it better now? Can you guys hear me better now?
Yes, it's better.
Jian, can you hear me now? Jian.
Yes, I can hear you. Please, can you rephrase your question?
So I said, and there are two things we can do right now. I can continue with the class. That means, okay, we just take one start. Okay. I can continue with the class right now, and then we'll just take CSS Flexbox. We just start with Flexbox and then continue doing every other thing. Or I can just open up one design over here and then we just clone it a bit. And then after cloning it, before we continue with class. So it depends on whichever one you guys want. So which one is it? If you want us to continue with class, raise up your hand. If you want us to clone a particular design, don't raise up your hand. Exactly. That's the question. Okay. So and so. Okay. So I think we'll just go straight up with taking CSS Flexbox. And then before the end of this class, we'll just imitate the design. Yeah, but still raise up your hand. As far as yeah, two ends up, we are going to continue with the class. Okay. Sorry?
I thought majority carries the vote.
Oh no, not in my own class though.
What's
So
the point of the vote?
because if majority carries the vote, that means there are going to be people at disadvantage. So if at least
Now, it's
one
not
person,
we'll never go back to
Then why
the
we
vote.
have
Now, at least just for the few minutes,
majority won't carry the vote?
like 2 minutes or of the last class.
yeah, if there are two people that raise up their hands, we'll just brush through a bit, then we'll still end up coming back to the design. The only thing now is if we take the design before Flexbox, we're going to do something very, very simple. But now if we take the design after Flexbox, we're going to do something complicated. So I feel like maybe we should just get onto something complicated since majority already worked with the assignment. Get so I can take a total of like 6 hands up. Yes, 6. So that is we are going to continue with Flexbox. And then if by God's grace we finish up quite early today, we can now like dive back to the design. If we don't, then that means throughout our next class is just all going to be about imitating a design. You get
No
the
issue, you know. Yeah, so we'll follow it.
okay, so just the marking, create a new folder. Big 4. You guys are following.
Can we create our folder now?
Yes, of course, please. All right. Can everyone see my screen clearly?
Yeah, just really so.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, guys, with me, please.
Yes.
Sure, sure.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm creating a new file. Go to HTML and then creating another file.
Sorry, are you
File.css.
supposed to share your screen?
No, not everybody sharing their screen. I'm the only one that's allowed to share my screen, but you guys are meant to like code along.
Yes, like I'm asking, are you not supposed to share your screen?
I'm sharing my screen right now.
Oh, I can't see.
You can't?
Yes.
Who else can't see my screen, please? Okay, I think it's your network. Maybe you refresh. Are
Let
you
me
using your
restart.
laptop? Are you using your
Let me,
laptop or your phone?
no, the phone. Let me restart.
Yeah, maybe
Let me
check your.
restart the app and ask to
Okay,
join again. Yeah.
okay, no problem. Since I already grant you entrance once, you will not need to request content. We're just trying. Okay. And I'm linking my CSS. Linking my CSS to my HTML right now. I think you all should be familiar with this. Let me do this. Hold on.
Too small. Oh.
Sorry.
I can't see your screen. Like it's too small. I don't know whether you can increase it a bit. Zoom in or something.
Better.
Yes, it's better.
So what I'll do now is the universal selector. Then I'll say padding.
Hello.
Padding
Hello.
0. I can hear you.
Hello. Sorry. You know this phone, it never serious. It's not serious with his life. It just playing up and down.
Okay. Okay now. So CSS flex box. So now what is flex to begin with? So now let's say flex is a way of positioning. Yeah, a way of positioning children container to make sure that they look good and they scale differently on different viewports. Different viewports in the sense of different screens. So now let me expand this and then let me use this as an example. Okay. So can you guys see this? Can you guys see this, please?
Yes.
Okay, now
Yeah.
Yes.
you see the way there are like three containers on each row, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this is the job of flex. If there were to be no flex, let's inspect it and then remove the flex so you can see it without the flex. Okay, display of flex. Yeah. So now without flex, this is how it looks like. I'm sure majority of you that did the tribute page, you had some things like this where there was like a lot of space by the right, and then all your containers. Since like I said before, CSS is HTML is block on block, layer on layer. So when I was building this particular site, this is one CSS card, this is another CSS card, this is another CSS card. So now all of them, they are all layer on layer. So now how do I now make it beautiful? How do I make sure that, okay, this space on the right is being utilized? So that's when I used flex. So now to use flex, you start with calling it out, and to call it, you use your display. So it says display flex. That's the initial thing to start using flex. So now let's go back to our code editor and create 3 boxes. So I want to create my first container and I'll name it container, a class of container. And inside I want to create 3 boxes. I'll name one, let's say box 1. I hope you guys are following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's start
okay.
from one side. And another box. So you guys can see what I'm doing. So now in VS Code, there's a shortcut for you to create a div and a class. You just say dots, the name of the class you want. Automatically creates a div with that particular name. So I don't know if you notice what I've been doing since. So now I want to create my 3rd box now. Dot, and what's going to be a class name? Box of 3. After I type enter, I get the div with the class name of box of 3. I name it 3. If I check this now. Sorry? Sorry?
Box 3.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, thank you. Now you can see I have 1, 2, 3 here now. So now let's go back to styling. So now I want to style the 3 boxes now. So now for dot box of 1, my box of 1, I want to say, okay, height. I want to create height of 100 pixel and background color of gold. I want to take my box 2. Box 2. I want to have the same height of 200 pixel. 200 pixel. And then background color. Background color. Let's say pink. Then I say my last box has box of 3. Height, same height of 200 pixels. And background color. And let's say purple. If I save this and then I go back to my code editor, you see I have this box 1, box 2, box 3. Hope you guys understood up to this point, because I know it's basic CSS that we talked about the last class. Show you.
Fast to be like magic.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Who's following, please? Where are
I'm
the
following.
ladies?
Yes, sir.
I'm following.
Okay. Jeanne, Precious, you
I
and
am here. I am here. I can see what you're doing.
Are you coding along, Jeanne? You're not with your laptop.
I'm not at home, but I'm seeing what you're doing.
Okay, boss. Okay, now, so if you see this now, this is basically normal HTML, block on block, 1, 2, 3. So now, if I now want to make these 3 boxes now look like this now, so 3 of them can be like side by side, I have to use flex. So now, for me to use flex, what am I doing? I'm going to call flex out on the mother container. So if you notice, I put these 3 boxes inside a mother container as a container. So now I'm saying my container, calling flex now, display flex. Display flex. If I go back now, as you can see, I have this 1, 2, 3. Now, the thing now is when you give it a display of flex, if you do not specify a width for your box, like if you look at the CSS over here, I never specified the width for my box, only specified height. So now, once you say display of flex, automatically the width of your box is going to contain, there's going to be a contain for your for the content that you have inside the box. I know that sounded like rubbish, but then if you see I have 1 here, I have 2, I have 3. This is everything I have inside these boxes. So now automatically the width is going to hug everything and make sure that okay, the width fits the individual details inside. Now if you check it now, if you look at this thing very well, this 3 is a bit wider than the other 2 because 3 has how many 5. I'm guessing there are like 5 alphabets inside. Now so and it makes it wider than the other 2. So now what can you now do now to now make sure that okay, they are like well separated, or should I say they are wide. Now we can now like add width to each one. So now say come back to width of 100 pixels or so. So I'm something like a square there. Width of 200 pixels. For 200 pixels. If you check it out now, let's say you have something like this. So now there are other properties in Flex. Once you call out display Flex, there are like other properties that follow Flex. There's the Flex direction, there's the Flex wrap, there's the align items, there's the align self. There are like a lot of other properties, and so I'll be treating the most important properties here. I want to give this my container now a background color, so we can like see how the container can see how Flex works. So my background color, let me just go here and look for something that is not so different from white, but different from white. Okay, let's say this is khaki. Background color of khaki, then height of 100 VH. So I don't know if you guys can remember from when we're treating measurement. VH means viewport height. So me now saying height of 100 VH, I'm saying that this particular container should take the height of my total screen. My screen I'm using now is a very, very wide one because I'm using my monitor right now. A very wide one. So it may not, would I say it may differ from every other person's screen. If your screen is wider than my monitor, if your screen is smaller from my monitor, once you say 100 VH, it gets like cover the whole, that's the whole space for your monitor. Show you.
Yes, boss.
Yes.
Okay. So after doing that now let's jump into the other part of Flex. So everything together is called the Flex model. So that's adding up the different things in Flex. So in Flex, we have the Flex direction, like I said. So now just the way it is a direction. The direction can either be in 2 ways. Yeah, it can either be in 2 main ways. That is Flex direction row or Flex direction column. So if you guys remember, if you remember mathematics from primary school, this is row, this is column. So we cannot specify a flex direction and say, okay, we want our flex direction to either be row, I want it to be a column. So now let's come back now. This is our container. So flex direction. By default, yeah, one thing you should know is by default, immediately you call display of flex. By default, your flex direction is row. So what you're seeing here right now, this is flex direction of row by default. But now let's now say you want it to be a column instead. So you can say flex direction column. If I save that and then I go back, you see they're aligned in this a column manner. So remember the way it was before, like this, that was flex direction row, this flex direction column. So let's now say the way you want it to flex up now, you don't want it to be in this manner because by default HTML is giving you this block 1, 2, 3. What if you want it to be 3, 2, 1? So you can say instead of flex direction column, you can say flex direction column reverse. Like the word say reverse means you're turning it upside down. So now if you check now, it's starting from 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. So let's now say, okay, we are still using the row, but I want it to be row reverse. So flex direction row reverse. Take that and then go back to the end, and then this time is 3, 2, 1. Show you. You guys understand flex direction?
Please, oh,
Yes, sir.
I've already missed this part. We are talking about maths. I've missed the part. Like my
Okay,
stuff
so
disconnected.
okay. So now if you remember normal mathematics class, if you guys did this let's say graph, yeah, plotting of graph, there's always x-axis and y-axis. So it's either x-axis, y-axis, that's also row or column. So this is your row, this is column. So y-axis, x-axis, row, column. So now flex works that way. So you can either flex, your flex direction can either be row or a column. That's the main. But now let's not say you now want the bottom to be on top. Instead of using the default HTML layering, you can now say, okay, flex row reverse, or that's flex direction row reverse, or flex direction column reverse. So that we don't have the default arrangement of 1, 2, 3. Like you can see here, I'm now having 3, 2, 1. Do you now understand now, Solomon?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So now another thing now, flex now is the wrapping. So if you look at this now over here, you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 boxes inside one container. And then this container is when I get display of flex. So now how is it possible that I have just 3 on top and 3 underneath and not 6 on the whole row? And so that is where flex wrap comes in. So flex wrap is like you telling your web browser that, okay, once I have this amount of boxes on this line, I want it to break and continue from the next line. So now for this our own box, now we have 1, 2, 3. Let's add more boxes there. I'm going to have the box of 4. We have 4 inside. We have the box of 5. I have 5 inside. I'm going to have box. So come over here. I want to just duplicate this real quick. Time. So this is so for background color orange. And then supply background color ash, I guess. Yeah. Can use any color you want. Then box of 6. Background color. Let's say brown. So if I save this and then okay, you see all my boxes now. Oh, I think I forgot to put something here. Yeah, that's it. I'm taking this back to next direction of row. So you can see everything now. So now, and I want to change my width, because for your flex wrap to work, the width of your container, the width of your boxes must be more than what the container row can take. So the next one can also like continue from the next line. So now let's now say I want to use, let me change the width now. I want to change all my width now to width of 30%. That means I want each box to take 30% of the container. I'm putting on my width to 30%. Yeah, Kofo, please go on.
Okay, can you like rephrase what you said before about the you have to change your width for something sometime. I didn't get that part.
Okay, yeah. So okay. So for your flex wrap to work, container that flex must see that okay, the total number of boxes on a particular row is more than what a container can take. Then the flex wrap can happen. Like now, the one I had before, the all had a width of 200 pixels. My monitor right now, the width is so long that it can take that 200 pixel like 10 of them. That's like 2,000 pixels. So that way, if I say flex wrap, it is not going to work. But now I'm now using percentage because now I'm giving each box a percentage of 30%. Sometimes I'm telling the box that okay, I want each one of them to take a width of 30%. So now this is my whole screen now. That means one box is going to take 30%, another box is going to take 30%, another box is going to take 30%. So by default, the whole width should be what? 100%. So if one takes 30, the other one takes 30, and the third one takes 30, that's 90% already. And I have 6 boxes. So that's to say that okay, this is more than 100%. It will have to wrap. Because if I check now, I've changed everything. You can see they're all like stretched out and stretched to the end. That's because the total thing here is already, each one of them is having 30%. And now my container can't take everything. My container can only take 3 because 30 plus 30 plus 30 is 90%. And then my container is meant to be 100%. So Kofu, do you understand now?
Yes, I think I do.
Okay. So now if I now go back to my container now and I say flex wrap, wrap. Say flex wrap, and then I come back. You can see what happened there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, once flex says that okay, the particular boxes, the number of boxes on a row can't contain. Like that means the number of boxes on that particular row is already too much for the container. What it does is send the next ones to the next line. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 30%, 30%, 30%, that's 90%. And then I have this little space here. This little space now contains 10%. But now the next box is more than 10%. So it's coming to the next line. So now, Kufo, do you understand clearly now?
Yes, so I think basically you're trying to say it depends on what you want to do. Let's say it is just you want it two in a row. So instead of giving it that 50%, 30%, you reduce.
You can give it 50%. Exactly. If you want two in a row, you give it 50%. If you want four in a row, you give it 25%.
Okay,
so now it depends on how many you want to do. Sorry, go on, please.
What if it's just like one? Can you use flex for just one box?
For just one box? Of course you can. Of course, if you want everything to be just one, change everything to 100% and they all appear 1.
No, like I'm saying, can you use flex? I'm trying to say that are you only going to use flex when you want to have like multiple boxes?
No, you can use flex for one box. Can use flex for one box.
I'm saying let's remove 2, 3 for that other part, like just one box, just one.
Only one. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So yeah, so flex is more than just for boxes. You use flex for positioning also. So most of the time, I'm sure you guys will have seen some sites whereby they are like space around. Let me try and look for Let me open this. Yeah. If you can see this clearly now, I used flex for this to take this guy to the center. This is like one major box, and then another box inside. So now for these two guys, so if you look at it very, they're like aligned to the center. There's that center of my whole screen. That's this everything here like this. They're like aligned to the center. So I used flex on just one box to position it to the center of my screen. So that happens. So let's say that happens over time. A lot of times, whenever you want to position, for some people, it's always very hard for you to like center things at the center of your screen. I put it in the center of your screen, so you can use flex. In fact, I'm going to even teach you how you can do something like that. So before, do you understand? Show you.
Yeah, so yeah, carry on.
Okay. So now this is flex wrap. So let's now say you want this thing not wrapped like this. You want it to be wrapped as maybe 654, then 321 underneath. Just like we did it before. We can have, instead of flex wrap, we can have wrap reverse. Wrap reverse. So you can, as you can see now, there's 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Now it's the opposite, wrapped the other way. Let's just keep this as flex wrap. So now let's now say you don't want these guys to be like joined together. Like if you can see now, there is this after the 4 and 5, there's no space in between. Let's say you want to add space. There's something called justify content. So you use justify content to compare space between. Space between means okay, you want space between your containers. So if you check now, you have something like this. See, there's now space in between them. There are other values for justify content. There is space between, there is space around, there is center. So let's say there is center, there's flex start, there's flex end. So let's say okay, we want to put space around them, but not in between them. If you go back now, you see there's now space around them and then a little space in between. So this space around is more like it gives brown to the container to be like a little space, but still doesn't remove the space in between them. It just gives you this nice spacing. Okay, there's like little space around and there's little space in between. So that we can say justify content center. Let's say we want to take them to the center. Justify content center. And as you can see, they are all joined together, but now they are the center, with the space being on the left and on the right. So you can play around with justify content. There are like other things. There is a flex end, flex start. Flex end means okay, you want them to go to the right hand side. That's the end of the flex. Or you want them to do flex start. That means beginning of the flex and all. There are a lot of other things. And there's also align items. With align items, they can align items at the baseline. Baseline means okay at the end of your flex. But align items now, one thing you notice, it works with your height. So if you're aligning item center, and then you check now, you see now there's space at the top, space at the bottom. Your containers are in between. They're like at the center. That's because align items work with your height. That means align items, let me just say align item works column wise. Exactly, something like that. Align item works column wise. Justify items, justify content works row wise. You understand now? So if you use justify content, it only affects row. Then align items affects this in column, that's height. So you see align items now center. I can say align items end. Save that and then go back and check. You see now they are at the bottom of my flex. I can say align items flex start. By default, the align items always flex start. So from the top and down. Now there's also align self. Align self works for individual boxes. So let's say you already have this you already have your display flex on the container. And now you now want only one particular container to be down. You can just say okay, align self flex end. So let's use this container of 4. Let's use 4 as an example now. So I'm going to 4. Under here, I'm going to say align self text in. If you check now, only 4 is down. The others are at the top. You can say, I can come back to, let me go to 5 and say, okay, align self center. You can see this one now is at the center, not at the beginning, not at the end, but at the center. Show you.
Yes.
Okay. So now, so now I want to like clear out. Let me remove all my boxes. 1 box, 1, 2 boxes. Let me comment them out. Whole box. So now, Kofo, I want to teach how you can use text for center. So now I have just 1 box now. But I want this my 1 box to be at the center. So what I can do now is come to my flex. Let me remove everything that I've done before. And then, okay, display of flex, initial thing. And I said justify content center and align items center. I can check now. You see now, this is my 1 box now is at the center. So this is mostly used for, let's say you are doing modal pop-up. And then when you click on something, you want your modal to like pop up, shine. So you just use the justify content center, align item center. Oh yeah, Sherifuddin, please go on.
Yes, sir. Justify content center and analyzing center. Are they not the same? Are they not working as the same function, sir?
They are not. Okay, so like I said before, I said justify content works for row, align items works for column. Now what I'm trying to do now is center this thing. So for me to center it, I need to make sure that, okay, on the row, it is at the center. On the column, it's at the center. So now let's say, let me remove my align item of center and leave only justify content of center. I go back and then I check. It's only going to be at the top. It won't be at the center of the screen because I said only justify content of center. That means on row wise, it should be at the center. What of column wise? So if I go back and let's say I remove my justify content of center and I put align items of center. You see now, it is at the center column wise, but row wise, it's not at the center.
Yes.
So now, if I want it to be at the center, I have to use the both of them together. Align item center, then justify content center. How you see? So row wise, it is at the center, column wise at the center. Show you.
Yes, sir. We.
Any other person have question? Okay, Kofo, please go on.
I have another question. Now let's say the way the box is in the middle right now. What if is it possible? Because I saw something like this, but there was also something inside, like the box had like another box inside this box.
Okay,
So
another
I'm
box,
just saying,
and then should we put that other box inside at the center too? Yeah, we can do that.
because the box was just like inside. I don't know. I can't remember the way the design was, but it was just like inside the box. But it was like rhyming with the design was like rhyming with each other. I think they.
Okay, so now let me add another div and name it child. Let's see. Box 1 child inside.
Hello.
Sorry? Yeah, go on, Kofo. You want to say something?
No. I was just.
Oh, okay. So now I have a new box 1 child inside, and now let me start with my box 1 child. Let's say dot box child. Let's say box one dot child. Then background color of red. I height of 20 pixels. Is it 20? Okay, I can look it. Okay. Height of 50 pixels. Width of 50 pixels. That's making it box. And let's say color of white. So the text color can be white. If you look at our output now, I have this box one child. Always white, background is red. So now let's now take this one in particular to the middle. To do that, inside our box one, we'll do the same thing we did before. Display or flex. Specify content, center, align item, center. Go back and check. Yeah, our box one child now is at the center of our box one, that is at the center of the container. So before you can use, just say you can use multiple display flex inside div, inside a div, inside a div, inside a div. Okay, go on, Bolo Watife.
Okay, so I want to ask, is it also possible to nest an image inside like a div container like this, or a div box?
Sorry?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, what did you say, please?
Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said?
No, I did not.
Okay, I said, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Bulu.
Okay, so I said, is it possible to nest an image? Okay, is it possible to nest an image inside a div content, like a div box like this? The way you nested this box one child, is it possible to nest an image like that?
Of course you can.
Do you get spotted?
Yes, you cannot. Don't forget, inside the div, you can have anything you want. You can have your p tag, you can have your form tag, you can have your table tag, you can have anything, you can have images inside. So there's no limitation to what you can have inside your div. So just the way you put things at the center. Now, if you want to put let's say you have a form, you want to put your form at the center, you can do something like this also. You get?
Okay, I'm asking because I tried doing something like that, and I don't know, it didn't just work. So maybe I did not do something right. I would.
Yeah, maybe you did not do something right. Just go back and check it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, boss. So show you.
Sorry, I
please,
didn't went off when you were explaining this part. So can you like quickly brush through?
Which one, please?
Please, I missed it.
That box one, the question I asked, that you kept the box inside the box.
Okay, so what I did was I created a new div, and I named it box one child. Then I went to my box one, and then I gave it the same property that I gave my container. Display flex, justify content center, align item center. So that took that box one child to the center of box one. You get?
Please go back to your code. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Here's the code for.
Did you give it the same width and height with you?
That's my box one child has a different width and height. It has height of 50 pixels, width of 50 pixels. Okay, it's impossible for you to give your child a wider width than the container. If you do that, you're going to have overflow. And then just know overflow is going to make your site drag. Just if you look at the bottom of your tribute page, there was this scroll bar there. Like scroll to the right. That's because there was an overflow somewhere. So your child is not meant to have a wider width. That's not meant to have more width or more height than your mother. Except if you now want to have like let's say you want to have like a scroll there, then you can do that. So let's try that out. Okay, so now I want to give my, okay, I did tell us something. Something, please go on.
Can they be equal?
Can they be equal? Yes, of course they can. So if I say, okay, let's give it a width of 200, width of, let's say width of 100%. I'm giving the child a width of 100%. That means I want it to occupy the total weight of the mother container. So I'm giving it height of 200 pixels. I can say 200 height of 200. Oh, height of 100 pixels and width of 100%. Yeah. If I do something like this now, my box start discovering the mother container.
Let me see. I suppose.
Because my box one, that's the mother, has height of 200 pixels. I give it height of 200 pixels. And then the width, of my child is 100%. That means I want to cover the whole width of the mother. That's why it's like this. So now let's now say there's some other very nice CSS properties. Let's now say I'm giving this guy height of 400 pixels. You know the height of the mother is 400 pixels. I'm giving it more than the normal height of 400 pixels. It is going to work. Well, now if you have, or that's if you have other containers together, this particular box one, the thing is it's going to be overflowing. It's going to be covering the other container. It's going to make your site look scattered because your height, the height is not matching. Your child is having height of 100 or 400 pixels, but the mother is having height of 200 pixels. So how can you fix this? If you say there's the overflow property, overflow, you say overflow of medium. That means you're telling the mother that okay, if there's a spillover, you cover it up. If you go back, you see the height. You can't see the text anymore because now everything now is covered inside the mother property. Now that means okay, the spillover and everything is not going to show. But now let's now say we want it to show. We can now say overflow. On which axis is that thing happening? On the y-axis. Because if you look at it, the overflow is for the height. That's the y-axis. Height is y-axis. And the width is x-axis. And if you guys can remember from your graph in physics, graph in mathematics. So x-axis, y-axis. So now when I say overflow on the y, that's overflow. Where's my overflow on the y-axis? That's for the height. And I want the overflow to be auto. Once give it overflow of auto, you see, I have this scroll bar. I can now scroll. So if I have, let me put a lot of content inside. Let me just, let's say a p tag. So you can see, I have this scroll effect. So that these are like, let's say these are like other crazy properties in CSS. If in that assignment someone had given me something like this, I would have given that person the 1 mark for the creativity. This scroll effect, because to me it is what I say. Because obviously some people looked at the creativity on my own part and then they said, okay, this thing is not so, it's not so creative. To me, it is the little things that matter. You can design and then use the best colors in the world, combine it, make it perfect, and then I'll still see it as okay, this is not that hot. Because should be told, in my 6 years here, I have seen a lot of colors. In fact, more colors than ever, because I'm also a designer, so I have seen a lot of colors. So you can't come and tell me, okay, because I use a lot of colors, my own is meant to score high for creativity. It won't, because I've seen more colors on that. But if you're not giving me little things like something like this, are giving me little things like that, like the parallax effect. You're giving me little things like using tables to style. I will give you that 1 mark because little things matter and not the big things. Can I get someone raise their hand? Winifred, please go on.
Yes, okay. You sent a link for checking colors or taking colors online.
Yes.
I tried using it, but I wasn't getting it.
Okay. So let's just hop on that. So I said colors dot colors dot co. Yeah. Okay, so you can just go to explore trending palette. Over I get to see you get to see different types of colors that are going to go well with each other. You can see different, and then if you over you can see the value. These are like X values. I don't know if you remember the last time I was talking about X colors in CSS. So I said, like I said before, X in mathematics means 10. Not just mathematics, alone, mathematics, chemistry, where you did um, yeah, chemistry, where you guys talked about butane, methane, and the rest. So X means 10. So when you hear X, that means your colors are meant to come from like, let's say from 0 to 9. Yeah, 0 to 9. So if you have that, now X takes colors from, I say colors, numbers from 0 to 9, and then alphabets from, is it A to F? Yeah, I guess X should be alphabet A to F, I guess, or something like that. So now that's why if you see majority of the colors here, we have something like CDB, 4DB. So everything, and they're all obeying that X law. Okay, I should have both a number and an alphabet. So now to use X now in your CSS, now let me change my background to this thing. I think I like it. Once you click on it, by default, you see something like this, color copied to your to the clipboard. So you go back to your code. Now I want to change my background color. So now to use X, say hashtag hash, then you paste that number that you got from there. If you check your, I think if I check my, so I can see. Now this is the color. This color I picked from here. That's what it's showing here. I think it's this color. Yeah, it's color. That's what it's showing here. So now let me change now to this sky blue, to this shade of blue. I clicked on it, color copy to the clipboard. Go back to my code, clear this. So it starts with hashtag control B, that's the color. And then voila, I have the blue. So Winifred, answer the question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, boss. Okay, Jehan, please go on.
Okay, I want to ask a question concerning the box you're creating.
Okay.
The smaller box, like the child box in the box one. So I want to ask that, can we use Flexbox to like create something like, let me say, a triangular spiral, like creating multiple boxes inside it?
Of course, inside this one box, you can have as many boxes as you want, and they still use Flexbox to align everything.
Okay.
It's more like
Thanks.
it's more like trying and error. Just keep on trying, and then once you get to where you want to get to, you stop. If you don't like what you're after, continue trying.
Okay.
Try don't go and crash your laptop, sha.
Thank you.
You're welcome, boss. So Adejola something. Still have a question. When adding the colors after it has been copied to the clipboard, hashtag control what? Oh, it's control V. Control V. Control V is for pasting. So hashtag control V, or you can just type it out. I can come here now and then over. Let me try this dark color. So this is 28, 36, 18. I just come here and say, okay, hashtag 28, 28, 16. So if I go back now and I check that, see, I have that. So you can either type it or click on it to copy it and do any way that works for you. Yeah, Solomon, please go on.
And what did you use to scroll that child box?
To scroll this, I just gave overflow. I just added overflow.
Overflow Y, Abby. Okay.
Overflow Y, yes, auto on the model. So that's what made it scroll.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now I said something about calculation in CSS. So it's possible for you to do calculations in CSS. Now, what should I try that? Let's say my container now, exactly. By default, this is a weight of 100%. That's this my grain container now. So what if I now want to use my weight of 100%, but then I want to subtract 30% from it? So you can have something like my weight, can say my weight, and say that means calculate. Then I'll say 100% minus pixels. If I go back, you can see I have this space here. This is 50 pixels. I want my width to be 100%. Inside that 100%, subtract 50 pixels and then give me the width. So this is going to like come in handy, like when you are styling for different screens. Sometimes some screens are going to move mad and are going to destroy your code. So what you do now is just use that calculate that, okay, 100% of this screen, subtract 10 pixels from it, or subtract 50 pixels from it. So that we are telling your code that no matter the screen that you hop on, once you do this and you do this, I should have this particular result. So this, would I say, these are not things that I am going to teach you. These are things that you get to know from experience. Yeah. Days of experience. You continue trying, you continue trying, you continue trying. Okay, okay, drop this and that was a mistake. Yeah, so just keep on trying and trying and trying. Okay, Lawal, please go on.
Please, I know understand though. Please, can you use help? Like the
Okay.
calculation aspect, actually.
Yeah. So you can use calculation in CSS where you, let's say you have yeah, so you have a weight, yeah, and then your weight is 100%. But now you don't want the total 100% to be there. You want like, let's say 100 pixels out of that 100%. But now it is not possible for you to know how many percent 10 pixels is going to be from 100%. Because let's say you're using a screen that the width of your screen now is like 1500 pixels. So you can't say, okay, if I remove 100% on 100 pixels from 1500 pixels, that's 1400 pixels. So instead of doing mathematical calculation, I have to find out how many percentage is 1400 pixels instead of 1500 pixels. You can just say, okay, for my width, I want it to be a calculation of 100% minus 150 minus 50 pixels. So by default, it gets to tell you how many pixels that is. So if I inspect this, and then I click on this my div of container, then I come down over here. This container over here, and I can see now that I have a width of 974 pixels. That is my width minus. If I, let's say I just remove this and leave it at 100 pixels, I have 1024 pixels. So do you understand now? Lawal?
Yes.
You understand how the calculation works?
Yes, I understand, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess that's all for Flex. As I said, let us jump right into grid right now. But then, majority of you are going to leave here with a headache if I jump right into grid. So I think we may end this class early. Yeah. I think we end this class early. Should we? Or what do you guys think? Should we end this class early or should we continue?
Yeah, that's anything.
Earlier,
Oh, my
now.
God.
It's almost 4 now. So
Can we start the cloning now?
you
I'll
might
start the
just
cloning now.
are you thinking of extending the class, like by 30 minutes or an hour?
Yeah,
Is that
the
what
thing
you're
now
in
is
favor
I
of?
have a meeting for 4. So I
But
would not
I
want to
thought
do.
you said that we are going to do the cloning after Flexbox.
And then I was like, we're going to use trial next week to do the cloning. But then if we won't do that, okay, I'm coming. Let me try this. Copy image address.
CSS grid.
Let me try, because if we want to do the cloning today, then I'll have to be sure that okay, I can like give you guys resources, images, and stuff. Yeah, Kofo, please go on.
Like to the upper part of this design. I have a question about it.
Okay.
Oh, it seems like picture is changing or something. Well, is it like, did you use Flexbox for the? No, okay, don't worry, it's confusing me already. Like I thought I saw one male and female picture together that it was around. Oh yes, this part. So like I wanted to ask if it was a Flexbox something.
Yeah, this is exactly, this is Flexbox. So now for me to put this thing at the center here, I used Flex. For this, just to put this is one container. So justify content, center, align, and then center. This is like at the center. Get. So I'm looking for something that is not so hard that I can like give us to release. Okay. How many people is on the laptop here? That's just 3 hands. Only 3 people on their laptop here. 4. You know what? Let's just do this. So let us end this class early today. So during the week, would I say the total total assets from this place, like this background image, all the images, then icons and the rest. I'm going to like gather everything up, put them in a drive, and then send out the link to that drive to everybody. So before next week, you should have downloaded the drive, that's downloaded all the assets in the drive to your laptop. So by next week, as soon as next week, by this Saturday, Saturday here. So by Saturday like this, we'll be cloning this page, not the old page though. Maybe just
Yay!
Okay, we'll clone the whole page. I guess we'll clone the whole page. Yeah, okay. Because I guess I've taught you guys the basis already, for you guys to understand how to like clone this whole page. And I designed this though. So just clone this whole page by private streak. So you guys should, let's say, come very prepared next week. Because next week there will be, little
Saturday.
Sorry, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. So there will be little space for. Please, I did not get. So now you go back by today. I guess after this class now, use the little minutes that I have. I'll try to like collect all the videos for all the classes, put them in a particular file, and then send it out. Maybe I'll put it on the group link so you can have every video from all the classes from the beginning. In fact, for my introduction class, I'll try and get that video. So every video that we have used, I'll put everything together inside the particular file and attach the link to the group chat. That's the description of the group chat. So if you want to like go back and watch the videos over again, if you don't understand something, go back. Because from next week, we are going to be doing a lot. Sorry, Saturday, yeah. So, and then I want us to move very fast because we'll have to like clone this whole page in like 2 hours. So I would not want us to like waste time, just real quick. And then maybe we'll now like talk about how you can like start adding resources like font or some resources. That's the icon. Like see this chat icon here, and then this carrot icon here, this airplane icon, the Facebook icon here, and then the rest. Yeah, so by next week, by Saturday, yeah, we'll be doing everything. And so that means your assignment is going to be for you to clone a part, yeah, of a particular website. Exactly. I think we'll just be doing that. So we'll be doing that just like that. So that's going to be like your assignment. I'm going to maybe that's going to be next week. Of course, I'll drop the. In fact, this time I'm going to try my best to prepare everything before Saturday. So after the class on Saturday, immediately I'm dropping your assignment. Monday by 12 p.m. on Monday, I'm closing the link. Okay, shoot, Lawal.
Mister, I like what of those that miss the class? Like, you don't know the backup class or something.
I said I'm going to send you back all the links
Can
because
you hear me?
every class is recorded. Yeah, I can hear you. Every class is recorded. So if you missed the class before, I'll send back the link so you can just go back and.
Because this Saturday, what if I miss the class? Can you extend that Monday to Tuesday, sir? Like Tuesday, 10 p.m.
If you miss the class on Saturday, I think that's how you're back alone by a sheet. That's your back alone by a sheet. If you miss it, you miss it. Assignment date is not going to be extended. So the assignment is the assignment on that day. So if you miss that class, I don't know how you're going to do it. I'll try my best to like drop the video link. One thing it takes like 5 to 6 hours or thereabouts, yeah, for Google Meet to drop the meeting link. That's drop the video in the drive. So I may drop the link for the recorded class by 6 hours later or 7 hours, so I may never drop it at all. So if you miss the class, that's your own cup of tea. You should be able to like implement any design. Because by next week, we'll just be talking about implementing design and then nothing more. So you still have something to say now?
Kindly drop the link to this Saturday's video because I won't be around that. So please, sir.
You won't be around. No wala, boss. I'll try my best to drop it. No promise.
Yes, sir. I sent to you about my GitHub link, the live one, not going to the direct website. You can send it. Like I've tried to. I've been doing it. I did it again. I've tried to send the live link again, but when I clicked on the live link, it didn't show me my page, and I followed the steps and directions he gave us. So I wanted to know what was the problem.
So Deborah, this is what is submitted. And then this link, something like this, Abby.
Yes.
Yeah, so this happens if your HTML file name is not index.html. If you don't have index.html, your own can work like this by default. So what you have to do now is, this is the link.
Yes.
You now have to come here. What's the name of your HTML? Worksheets.html.
Yes.
So you just have to come back here and say /worksheets.html. Enter.
Okay, I should add that to the live link.
Exactly, you have to add the name. So if you have a folder, you can say /folder name. That's the name of your folder. / whatever is there. So /folder / if you have index.html, index.html, if you have anything. So that's what you do. So now this is now going to this is now going to be your. This is what you are going to submit as a
yes, the live link. Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
You're
sir.
welcome. Any other question, please, before we enter this class? Ufuborola. Okay, Kudus Bankole, please go on.
All right, so I want you to please, I want you to please show your code. And you said you were going to send all the links to all the classes. So I don't know I don't know how long that would take. If it's possible to send this particular class at first, because you were kind of fast and I was unable to meet up with everything you were doing. Actually, I'm actually on my laptop, but yet I could not get everything you were doing because you're a bit fast. So can we get this link first before actually compiling everything?
Of course, no problem. No problem at all. I'll try my best to do that. And then I'm so sorry for being so fast. Should have like called my attention to that. That slowed down a bit. So maybe
I didn't want to disturb others.
No. There's nothing like disturbing others here. So like I said before, it's more like this is an interactive class. So it's not me teaching one. It's only in the university where our lecturers are always bothered about one person slowing down the whole class. over here, one person is not slowing down the whole class. In fact, when you call attention to something, know that there are other people that want to call attention to that, but maybe they are just too shy to call attention to that. And so when you do that, they are always grateful for that. You get, so please, anytime, just call attention to anything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so any other question? Or should you just jump to some div? Kofo, please go on.
Okay, it's not really a question. I just want to know when you're going to teach us how to use our VS Code to like create a rep or something. That JIT something like that. This share something like that. You said we're going to talk about it, but you're still not talking about it.
Oh, Git. Yeah, thank you for reminding me, Kofo. So I think that's what we're going to do for our next class. Should we do that? The next class. Yeah. So I think I'll try my best to take, when we are implementing next class, I'm also going to teach media query in between. So media query is making how to make your website responsive. Because if you look at the majority of websites that have been building since, if you look at it on your mobile phone, they don't always look nice, only on laptops. Yeah, so I'll teach media query alongside that next class. Yeah, so after that media query, there's still time. Maybe I'll try my best to like move the class up a bit. And next class, instead of starting by 2, like let's start by 12. So maybe like, maybe like 12 to 3 or 12 to 4. So by that time, but then I'll still try my best. I'll still teach Git full, no problem. Adejala, something, go on, please.
I don't know if you can, but is it possible that you can quickly do that that other Readme stuff for JITs like now?
Readme stuff as well.
Because I've tried to watch the video about that. I didn't get it.
So you don't have to create a Readme. So creating Readme is just create new file here. Just want to create new files. Okay, this is the browser. All right.
Yes, I don't know how to do that.
Let me open one of mine. Okay, so you can, if you don't have a README file, GitHub always put this thing here to add a README. When instead of doing this, you can come here to add file, create a new file. Then over here, they're asking for the file name, so you can just say readme.md. MD is like normal readme extension. Then I just come here and say, hey boy, if you commit changes, you know my GitHub, but then if you commit changes by default, you should see that thing there. I don't know, I doubt it's even I think it's not even my laptop. My GitHub bots, they don't click. But if you do something like this, it should work. But then by default, if you don't have a README, GitHub is going to give you one. So just click on add a README. And then by default, you can see readme.md has already been created. Then you just commit changes after everything. You get. So does that answer a question? Or do you like something? Okay, I think someone else raised a hand. Hello, Deborah.
Yes, I wanted to
Oh, wait. Hello, sorry, please hold on. Sorry?
Yeah, I want, like, for example, I can hear you. What I mean is, after creating the video, then you host the website or somehow that it goes live.
Like GitHub pages.
Do you get me?
Yes. I don't know, you're breaking up, boss.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on. I think there's something. What's wrong with your network?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
To go go live, how do you do that? Like through GitHub? That's what I don't get.
Oh, you go to settings, you come down to pages, then underneath page, you
Like I
just
get
choose
the
underneath
part
this
where
part, you just select one of your. Who's the one that can't hear him?
no, I'm listening to
Okay,
you.
yeah, so after you save, by default, your link should come up here. If it doesn't come up, then you can just go back to your new folder. If your link doesn't come up, go back to the folder, come to the site, the underneath environment, click on GitHub pages. Then just click on view deployment. Once you click on view deployment, the link you get here should be the link to your file. Like now, my own is messed up a bit. Because I changed some things there, so mine is like messed
Okay,
up a
so
bit.
then you now had the name
That
of
link here, yeah, you just take that link to your Readme.
Okay. I think I get what you're saying. I'm trying.
Bello Deborah.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask, how do you import fonts into your coding? Your
How do
code,
you
right?
import fonts?
Yes.
I
You
think we
showed
already
us.
talked about that the last time using this in Google Fonts.
Yes, I didn't get it. I was trying to do it, but I was not able to do it. You could just show it briefly.
Let's see, so fonts fonts.google.com. Can you come here? You already have them over. So you just whichever font you want to use, select it. And this is open source now. And so this style, you select which one you want. So if you want light and design, regular, just select whichever one you want.
Okay,
And
sir.
after selecting it, you come underneath. There are like two ways. Either you use link or use import. The best way to me is still import. So you just say import. You just copy this thing inside here, this link.
Okay.
Then you go to your CSS, the top. And you paste the link there. You must have active internet connection for it to work.
Okay.
Then after that, to use it, you know how to call the font family. If you look at underneath CSS rules to specify families, just say font family underneath them. So just copy that one and then drop it wherever you want to drop it. Now my child div now, I can just drop it there now. Font family open sound. I'll go back and like check. This font has changed from the default one that was there before. So let me like inspect. If I open this now, you can see the name of the fonts there at the top. Font system is open sounds. That's what I put it here.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so any other question, please?
Yes, sir. That's it. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question? Jean still here?
Yes, I'm still here. I don't have any question.
Question?
No.
You want the Precious? You want to hear?
I'm here.
You want the Precious?
I have a question. They already what?
Okay, please go on one day. And I thought already left. You and Precious. I'm looking at it.
My question is not about what you just did, but I'm asking: is there any reason why background image and background color can't coexist together?
They can coexist. The thing now is one gets to stay on the other. It's not possible to have them as a full-time side by side. You can have them in form of let's say adding a linear gradient on your image. It can work that way. But now you can't have like let's say you can't have a full color and a full image together. It's not possible. One is going to cover the other. It's either the color covers the background, or the image covers the background without the color showing. But now let's now say you want the image to show, but now you want the image to have a shade of the background. So just turn the background color to a linear gradient. If you use the linear gradient for the background color, both of them, they will both coexist together and they'll show at the same time. You know what linear gradient is now?
Yes, I did that and it still did not work.
You specified them separately.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay, no. You should have something like let me get one particular image. Where are we? I'm moving background color. So I'll just say something like background. The background color is background. I start with linear gradients. My linear gradient needs to have like two different colors. So I'm going to have let's see. This one's going to be hashtag 000. That's black. Comma hashtag 000. That's hashtag 000. That's hashtag 000. And I'm going to have a comma outside my linear gradient and then say a URL for my image and then which image I'm importing the background. But now if I do this, the black is going to show. The image is there, but the black is going to show. That's because this is a full-time black. So now if I now add something like let's say I come here now and then I just take this thing down. And then over this one to bring it down. This is me reducing the intensity. That's reducing I'm reducing how deep my black is going to be like. If you see now, I have an image, they also have my black there. It's not so so now let me just increase this thing a bit. Let's take it to like halfway. You can see the top is like dark, but I still have my background. So I can now have my normal fixed. So as you can see, so you wanted, does this answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So let me say I don't want black now. I want gold instead. And go over this guy here. Reduce how thick it is. And get down a bit. Oh. Okay. Can see now I have something like this. They're both coexisting. Now you want the Abby.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Welcome. So you can play around with aside linear gradient, there are other types. There's radical, there are like different types that you can play around with. You can just play around with any one of them, try them out. So any other question, please? Any other question?
No question.
No question. Okay. By the power invested in me, by this honorable class, I hereby.
Bro,
Now, please go.
sir, please, I'm trying to write that code. Please, can you go back to your VSA, sir?
This the background code.
Yes, I can speak now. Please, I'll give you 1 minute.
Okay. But then let me drop my closing remark. I hereby call this class to hold and then adjourn it to our next meeting. That's going to be on Saturday by maybe 12 p.m. depending on power supply. Because those guys decide to determine whether I'm going to teach or not. And depending on power supply, our class on Saturday is going to hold maybe by 12 p.m. So get yourself prepared. It's going to be a lot that day. Get paracetamol close to yourself. Get ice block if you need that. Because there's going to be a lot of headache that day for people that are just starting off for the first time. Because we'll be going real deep. And then it's going to be fun. Trust me. I'll try my best. Maybe I'll try my best to like gather jokes that I write jokes down so I can make everybody laugh. Okay. So Lawal, are you done?
Sir, almost, sir.
Is it possible to send?
If you're using your phone, you can just take a screenshot.
Screenshot, exactly. Or if you're using your laptop, just use Windows, old Windows down there, old print screen. That's screenshot on laptop. It's done.
Windows what?
So see
Can
you
you
guys.
repeat that command?
Windows print screen.
Print screen.
Windows and then yeah, print screen. That's screenshot on laptop.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you guys very much for coming for this boring class. I really appreciate you guys coming to this class. Is the reason why I'm here.
Thank you.
Okay, see you guys on Saturday.
Thank you.
Hello.